Okay, hello guys. Today I want to show you how to instrument an application using Broadcom's APM SaaS offering. So here we have a simple, Tomcat application. It's got a backend and a MySQL database. It's a simple app that we use for our demos. Uh, you can browse for certain events, uh, select the event that you're interested in, add it to the cart and check out. Very simple app. So what we want to do then is instrument this application as well as the infrastructure, right? The host where this application is running. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and log in to my APM SaaS. So let me log in here. Okay, so you can see you can get a trial version of our APM SaaS yourself. This is a trial version that I'm working with. All right, if I take a look at my metric view, I can see that there are no actually agents being reported. This is empty. So the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and use our APM Command Center in order to build the package, along with the agent and everything that I need to monitor my infrastructure and my application. So for that, we'll go to settings. And so the one that I'm interested in is the APM Command Center. I'm going to go ahead and pin it so that it can be on the sidebar over here. I'll go ahead and bring it up. All right, so this is our APM Command Center. Here's we're going to go ahead and build a package so that I can actually copy it, upload it to where my application is running, deploy there, and start monitoring the application. So one of the things that I want to show you in here, guys, is that there are documentation. So for instance, I can go to online documentation, and these are the APM. These are the APIs for APM, so I can deploy use our APM Command Center using APIs, which means that maybe if I had a pipeline, it's a CI/CD pipeline that I want to integrate this and push this, I can perfectly use the APIs. I could also, let me go ahead and take a look at, we'll go ahead and look at what other things we support. So this is the one, I want to deploy an agent package using APM Center, so let me select that. And in here it's going to step me through on how to deploy an agent package, using this particular tool. Just going to show me how to create an agent package, taking me step by step. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this. So let's go back in here. So the first thing I need to do is create a package. But you will see that a package is composed of all the artifacts that I want to actually deploy into my server, right? So let's go through one. I'm going to go ahead and create a package. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to instrument two things, right? I want to instrument my server as well as my application. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my server. For that, and again, you can make reference to to our documentation, step by step on on all the things that you need to do. In this case, let me start by naming my package. So I'll say infra uh, monitoring, right? So this is my infrastructure. My application actually is running in Unix. So I'm going to, the OS type is Unix. So the process that I want, the type of agent that I'm looking for is the infrastructure agent. And I'll select Linux. The agent version of the infrastructure agent, I'll select the latest one. Let's work with the latest one. And then Cloud Proxy. I'm not going to bother with this. I'll tell you in a bit what this is all about. But all I've done then is selected the type of agent that I want to deploy. In this case, an infrastructure agent, right? In the operating system that I'm going to deploy this against. So I'm going to go ahead and say customized. Now, so one of the things of the package is made out of is the agent itself that we just selected, and bundles. Bundles, right, are extensions, if you will, right? They're the same thing. So that means that I can select what sort of extension, what sort of bundles do I want to deploy along this infrastructure agent. In ARC, for instance, I can select AWS extension if I were monitoring my, if I had AWS services that I want to monitor, or Azure or Apache Flume, uh, Couchbase, data powers. Maybe if I had data power deployed, I may want to use this extension to monitor Elasticsearch, F5. You can see, extensions is really, really big. We got quite a bit of extensions here. Kafka, MySQL, Nginx, Open Tracing, you name it, right? vCenter monitoring, web server, WebSphere, etc., MQ, so on and so forth. In this case, I just want simply a host monitoring, right? Because that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to monitor the performance of my server. So I'm going to go ahead and select this bundle, this extension, and add it, right, to the package. So that's all I want for now. So I'm going to go ahead and say next. Now that I have selected, right, so far I selected the agent, right, I added the agent to my package. I selected the bundles, right, that I want my package to contain, right, and we only select the host monitoring. Now, the next thing that I need to do is just, configure these, right? First of all, I'm going to configure the package itself, tell it where to go and connect to, and I also have the ability to configure the bundles, the extensions themselves, okay? So let's start with configuring the infrastructure itself. So if I go to EM connection, okay, let me put this away, the help. The first thing that I need to do on EM connections is what do I want to connect to, right? Where is the agent, the SaaS, right, that I want to connect to. So for that, I can go back to my, let me go ahead and, this is my SaaS, APM SaaS, the one we were looking at earlier. I'll go ahead and select agents. If I select the agent and I say show agent connection, it will show me, the URLs that I need to use in order to connect. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to generate a token in order for the agent to authenticate itself when it connects to, our SaaS. So I'm going to go ahead and generate a token, and it's going to give me all this information. Let me cut and paste this, and I'll put it into this pad. Now, hopefully you can see it. It's a little small, but maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Say 18. But basically, what I was given, let me close this. So I'm giving the URL. Okay, so I have two URLs, so I can connect either with through WebSockets or HTTPS, right? And then the credential, the token that I need, that my agent needs in order to authenticate itself. So I'm going to go ahead and use HTTPS for now. So this is the URL that I want to use. So let's go back in here, right? So where it says agent manager URL. So this is the URL that I want to go to, okay? Now, I also need to be able to enter the credentials. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and create a new line. Select on the setting, the gear wheel right here, the property setting. I'll say insert new. I'm going to go ahead and give it the name. This is the agent credential name. And now I'm going to put in the actual token itself. Copy this, paste in here. All right, so enter to save. So I hit enter and it's saved. Now, that's all I need to do in order for my agents to start reporting into my APM SaaS. I can go ahead and do next. There's nothing for me to actually configure in this case on my host monitoring, right? There are other extensions that allow you, they obviously have certain things that you can configure. This particular is very simple, so okay, great. So nothing to be done. So I'll go ahead and say next. So now this is just showing me, giving me instructions on what do I need to do and how do I need to deploy this. This is good. Well, I'll show you guys how to do it. So I'm done with my package at this point. All right, so click on done. Let me open up my terminal. And now if I select, so this is the infra monitoring package that I just created, right? Tells me when it was created, last time it was modified, how many agents are actually using this package. Obviously nothing, zero, because I haven't I haven't deployed it yet, but it will, this is useful because it will show me the number of agents that are out there currently using this package. It shows me the bundles, right? The different extensions that I've selected. Again, in this case, is host monitoring, the end connection that I provided, okay, and the instructions and install instructions. Okay, so at this point, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and download now this package, right, and FTP this package to my server and deploy there. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the package URL, and you'll see in a minute there's going to start downloading this package. So what I'm going to do, so this is my Linux where my Tomcat is actually running. If I do ps-ef grep java, there's my Tomcat. Okay, so now this just downloaded. I'm going to go to this is my local machine now. So if I say list long infra monitoring, there is the package I just downloaded. So let's go ahead and copy this, right? Secure copy this to my Linux. So secure copy, infra monitoring to root at 0.25, and we'll just put it in root. All right, so this is this is actually being FTP being copied to my server on the root. Okay, so looks like it's doing it pretty fast, and there it's done. It's copied. All right, good. So now back in my server, in my Linux server where my Tomcat is running. So I have a directory called opt. I'm going to go ahead and install that infrastructure agent in this directory. So we know that it's in root, right? Which is FTP to the root slash infra monitoring. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and untar this. Tar extract file from root infra monitoring and just install it here. Now let me clear this. Now, what I've done, by just untarring it, it has created a directory called APM right? APM Infrastructure Agent. So I'm going to go ahead into my APM Infrastructure Agent, and this is the APM control is the one that I need to run in order to install or run my infrastructure agent. So I'll show you APMI. If I just enter, it gives me the various options that I can do, right? I can install, uninstall, start, stop, restart, and so on and so forth. Since this is brand new, what we want to do is we want to install. So go ahead and install this. Okay. So there it has installed. And actually when it installs, it automatically runs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the logs of the agent to make sure that everything's going well. So I see a directory called logs in here. So let's cd to logs. I see various logs in here. One of them are, the installation of the APMI itself. I'm interested in the Interscope agent log. So let's go ahead and tail this guy. And I don't see any errors, and actually tells me the last line. It says that EM successfully connected, right? Okay, so it looks like I connected fine. Let's go see. So if I go to not to my APM command center, but I'm going to go to the APM itself, right? The one that actually the agent's going to connect to. I'll go ahead and go to the metric view. Let me close this again, and there's my server, right? AXA infrastructure agent. And now I can see that under system age, all right, I'm getting all the performance of my server, right? I'm getting the various CPUs, memories, memory, disk, network, operating system, processes that I have, number of processes that I have that I'm currently running on my server, number of CPU, um, so whatever, all the information I can stack them. I can see them all at once if I want. Uh, All right, so this is good. So I'm actually, so I was successfully able to deploy the infrastructure agent on my server, and now I'm collecting information regarding the performance of the server when my application is running. Excellent. So let's go back to our APM Command Center, and let's take a look at the agents. Now, if I look at the agents, I see that I have one agent connected, right? It says right here. So if I select my agent, it's already selected. It tells me information about the agent. Okay, it's running. This is the version, the agent version that I'm running. It's running on this server. This is the process name, right? Bunch of status, and most importantly, it's telling me the package, right, that I'm running that has been configured in this. In this particular case, it's telling me that package version one. Okay, and that makes sense. And this is the environment where my application is running. Perfect. So I'm done with this. So the next thing that I want to do then is go ahead and instrument my application, right? So I got the server instrumented. Let's instrument the app. So for that, I'm going to go ahead, go to my package, right? And so what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to go ahead and create a second package, right? So I created a package where I put the infrastructure agent in it and the various bundles, extensions for that infrastructure agent, which in our case was just host monitoring. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a second package when I'm going to put the application agent, right? And again, and within that package, I'm going to select various bundles along with that agent. So let's go ahead and let's do a new one. So I'm going to create a new package. Let's call this uh, ticket ticket exchange um, monitoring. Again, it's running on Unix, so I'll select Unix. Unix. Now the process, the agent that I'm selecting, I don't want an infrastructure agent, right? I want an application agent. I could select WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, others, uh, but I'm running Tomcat, so I'm going to go ahead and select my Tomcat. So I'll go ahead and select Tomcat agent version. I get to choose. Let's go with the latest one. And now I talked about this cloud proxy. I mentioned it before that I was going to get back to it. What this is, so you guys notice that I have an agent an infrastructure agent monitoring my server, and it's connecting to my SaaS, right? Let me show you what this cloud proxy does. So this is the cloud proxy that it's offering. So I have the ability, right? So what I'm doing right now is I have the agent going directly to my cloud gateway, right? To my SaaS, APM SaaS, and just reporting metrics there, right? I may want to do that, or I may not want to do that, right? I may have many servers, maybe behind certain firewall, most likely, right? And so what I might want to do is use a cloud proxy, which is this guy right here, and then have my agent, right, and in turn connect to my cloud proxy. And then my cloud proxy, right, can actually go ahead and connect directly to my gateway, right, as opposed to opening, having all my servers go, punch a hole through the firewall and go to the gateway. I can, centralize that and go through the cloud proxy. Of course, the proxy itself could actually talk to your, HTTP server if you had one, or have the agent, instead of talking to my cloud proxy, they can talk directly to your HTTP server, right? Either way. Now, the advantage of cloud proxy over HTTP server, your own HTTP server, or how it complements it, is that I can also use uh, legacy agents. So I don't have to use, one of the newer agents in order to connect, in order to report metrics, right? Let's say you are an existing APM customer, and maybe you have older agents, right? Agents version 9 or 10, right? That's okay. You go ahead and obviously those agents, right? Agent 9 and 10, they're not going to connect directly to my APM SaaS, but in that case, we're going to use a cloud proxy, right, for the agent to go through the cloud proxy, and then the cloud proxy in turn connect and report these metrics to our APM SaaS, right? So that's where these cloud proxy address comes in, but we're doing it directly for simplicity, so it's fine. So now that I've selected the agent, right, the Tomcat agent that I want as part that I want in my bundle, let's go ahead and customize this. So when we say customize, it means let's go ahead and select, what bundles, right? What extension do I want? So out of the box, right? This when I selected Tomcat, these are the bundles that came, and when that was selected. So for instance, if it's putting, the AWS, right, to monitor AWS services. Well, I'm not running AWS, so I don't want this. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Async HTTP client. Yeah, I have HTTP calls, so I'll leave it on. Uh, Azure, yeah, again, I'm not monitoring, I don't have any cloud services. Um, Couchbase, I'm not doing that. EGBs, we'll leave EGBs. Elasticsearch, no, I'm not monitoring Elasticsearch. Extension cloud provider, tracing, I'm not doing that. Garbage collection, I definitely want. HTTP backends, I definitely want. JMS, I don't have any JMS. I can leave it on, doesn't hurt, doesn't do anything. Again, and again, and you don't have to remove these bundles. They're just there in case you happen to make a call and use, a service or Elasticsearch. Otherwise, they're just sitting there waiting to be invoked. But obviously, builds the size of your package that you're gonna FTP to your server. So I'll go ahead. I'd rather remove them. I'll leave that there. I don't have a play framework. Remove that. Simple framework. We leave that in. I don't have Spring, so I'll go ahead and remove Spring. I do have Strat. Web services I want. WebSphere MQ. No, I don't need that. GSMPP. I remove that. Okay, so these are the bundles that I'll go with. Start with. Okay. So JSF server faces. I will remove that. I don't have that. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and do next. So just as before, right? So now it's time to customize or configure the connections as well as the bundle. So we start with the connection. So just like we did before, right? I need to provide the agent the URL where to connect, and luckily I have it. So it's the same one. So I'm going to go ahead and select the HTTPS. Oh, you know what? Just for a variety's sake, I'll go ahead and use uh, WebSockets, right? It doesn't really matter. So I'll go ahead and select that. That's what I did. Control copy. All right, control copy. Let me go here. Control paste. There it is. Again, I'm going to go ahead and insert a new line so that I can provide my credentials. So here's the property name, and here's the value, the token value. Copy. So I'm going to go ahead and enter, and there, saved. Um, okay, so the next thing, now I have more bundles that I can customize. So we're going to start with the agent itself. So let me start with the base. And there's a lot of customization that I can provide. We're not gonna. I don't want to bother with too many of them. Just a handful. Maybe the process name, right? We'll go ahead. I was going to report. Let's call the process name Tomcat. Okay. What other thing I might want to instrument again, right? So there's a lot of configuration that you can use in the agent. Maybe the name of the application, right? The name of the application itself. Let's call it web portal. This is the actual application, right? This is my web app that is running in my JVM, right? Uh, I'm calling it web portal. It can be whatever name you want. And if I don't provide a name, I'll pick up the name that is actually on your web.xml, right? In your web.xml, you usually have a display name. It will use that name as default if I don't override that one. Last thing I might want to use is so I can show you guys the URLs, format my URLs as they coming in. I'll say 3.6. That's because I know this. I've done this before, but again, I didn't have to do this, and that's all I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do Tomcat. Now, when I select the Tomcat, it's just going to show me uh, the name of the agent name, right? I can leave it at Tomcat, it's fine. The process name that I just selected, Tomcat, um, agent name. So I can auto name the agent. We'll leave it false. I'm just going to go ahead and type the name myself. Uh, so there's nothing really else for me to do in here. Now I could go ahead and and customize my other the various bundles that I added. For instance, an EGB. I can select if I want instrument my EGB, stop tracing sessions. Maybe I don't want to track my entity beans, so I'll go ahead and turn them off. Whatever, right? So but again, I don't have to. The default is fine. So let's go ahead and go next. The most important thing that all I need to do is just simply provide my EM connection, right? This guy. That's the mandatory. The rest I can use default and come back later on after my agent is connected and and start doing the configuration then, customization then. Okay, so I'm done with the package. Now this is again is I get instructions on what do I need to do, right? So it's telling me to go ahead and download the package that I just created, and then it's just going to show me how to you know how to how to add this agent, right? How to instrument my application with this agent, right? So in this case, because it's Tomcat, it's asking me to go to my Catalina.sh and just introduce Catalina ops and just use this line, right? The minus Java agent. All right. So I'm done. And again, so let me okay, so now what I'll need to do. So this is the new ticket exchange monitoring package, right? That contains my Tomcat agent. And again, it's showing me the various bundle that I added and the configuration that I made, right? So I turn entity beans tracing off. Here's the M connection, right? My SAS connection that I given it. We're using WebSocket this time, just to see, just to use it because we used HTTPS on the other one. Uh, the name of the agent, right, is going to show up. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and download the package. So we'll go ahead and download the package just as before. Um, so this is going to download it obviously to my local environment. And then what I'm going to do then, just like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and let it download it. So make sure that it's here. So if I say list long uh, ticket ticket exchange monitoring. Okay, there it is. So let's go ahead and secure copy this one to my other server. So I'm going to go ahead and say instead of infra monitoring, we're going to do the ticket exchange. There it is. All right. All right. So now this is copying it into my Linux. Let's go until I get there. In the interim, okay, there. It got copied there. So now if I go back, where am I here? Let me go back to CD opt. Okay, so now if I take a look at my root and we do ticket exchange, there is the package that I just copied here. So let's go ahead and install this. I'm going to install it in this directory opt. So we're going to do tar, extract file, root, ticket exchange. And now what it did is created a Wiley directory. Okay, if I go into my Wiley, I see that I have, this is the Bootstrap agent. This is the agent that understands, uh, what needs to be done, what needs to be loaded into your class. And on the releases, if I ls releases, I have the agent version that I'm currently deployed. In this case, obviously, this is the first time, so I'm deploying the agent that's selected, 20.3. But you can imagine maybe in a month or so, whenever we'll get a new version of the agent. So, I'll go ahead and update the package. When I push my package, right, when I update my package in and update it right from the APM Command Center, it will show up another release. It will show up. All show up on the release, the new agent version. Now, one thing that I want to stress here, I'm not sure if it has come across, is that I'm doing this one time. Right, this is what we call Bootstrap. So the reason why I'm taking the package, right, I just took a package, an infrastructure agent package, and a Tomcat agent package into my server, but I'll never have to do that again, right? Because once, now that I have a hold of this package with the agents connected, right? If there's any changes that I need to make, like maybe add a new bundle, right? A new extension, modify the name, or actually, upgrade the agent to a new version, I will do that through here, right? Through the command center. I'll apply the changes, and it, will automatically control and apply all the changes to this agent that I deploy on this host, right? I will never have to come and log in into the server and install anything again. So this is just a one time, right? This is the Bootstrap. All right, so let's go ahead and I install it. So go ahead and enable that application. The first thing that I'll need to do then is stop it, right? So let's go into my Tomcat. All right, so let's go ahead, bin and shut down. So we're shutting down this guy. Let me make sure the shutdown, sure enough, is down. We just killed it. So now what I want to do is follow the instructions in here where it told me, to go into my catalina.sh and introduce this. So let me cut and paste this because I'm literally going to cut and paste it. And let's go into, where am I here? vi bin slash catalina.sh. All right, good. So I suppose I can put this anywhere. Catalina opt. So I'll put it somewhere at the beginning. This is good enough. Paste. So there it is. Now, okay, so I noticed we're introducing a new variable, agent home. I know agent home is where the Wiley had been was installed under opt Wiley. I can hard code it, or I can, let's continue with this, or I can do this. Doesn't really matter. Equals, so we set it under opt Wiley, right? And just to double check, I'll go ahead and do a listing of this. And yep, that's the right directory, right? I see my agents and releases and all that. Perfect. All right, at this point, I'll just go ahead and save and bring the server back up. So I'll do bin startup. All right, so let's tail the log, tail minus f log catalina.out. So I see my servers coming up. All right, it's up. So let's go ahead and verify this. Good. So I'm connected again. Just click around. Everything seems to be working. Added. All right. Good stuff. So now let's go see the agent, right? So let's make sure that the agent was able to connect. And it's actually working and actually reporting to our APM SAS. So Control C this, and where am I here? So let me go up. So let's go see the Wiley. And now this log that you see in here under the Wiley directory, this is for the Bootstrap agent, this particular agent. What I'm interested in is on the log of the agent that is being deployed, which would be under the release, right? Under releases, I have this agent. Now, if I go into this agent, I'll see that I have a logs in here directory, right? So if I go into logs, right, and again, I'm in the Wiley releases, my agent release, the agent version that I'm currently using, logs. I'm under here, so I'm going to tail minus F, my interscope logs, and it looks fine. Don't see any errors, looks disconnected. So let's go ahead and let's go to APM and verify that. And sure enough, there is my Tomcat. This is the name, the process name that I gave it. Here's the agent name. Tomcat agent, and now I can see all the various metrics that are coming in, right? That we're collecting. Uh, we have front ends, right? Back ends. If I look at my front ends, this is the name of the application that we gave it, right? We overrode whatever is defined on the web.xml. In our case, we call it web portal. I can see the various URLs, as we exercise the application. If I say sign in, I'm probably going to get a new, uh, let's see, let's wait for it. We're going to get a new URL that is sign on somewhere in here. Maybe I can speed it up. Let me see. Um, Maybe I can refresh it. I'll show up. Uh, in the interim, let's take a look at the various other things that we're collecting. Servlet information. Uh, Strats, as I mentioned, we were using Strats, and so these are the various uh, action handlers that I have. Tomcat, thread pool, interesting, right? I can monitor the thread pool that I have on my Tomcat, my HTTP one, the number of, uh, actually, this is the thread counts. So this is my total thread count, and this is the actual threads that are busy right now, right? So 3 of them are being used up. Um, Good. What other thing? GC monitoring, right? Really, really important. Uh, we track the memory pool. So memory pool shows me what is the space, how much heap have I given it to my, Eden space, as well as my tenure, old space. If I look at current capacity, how much is being used. This is how much is being used on my old space, and this is how much is being used on my Eden space. Okay. This is really important too. So this is just how much, space we have allocated, right? So that would be in the maximum capacity, how much space is currently being, used out of the maximum capacity. But most importantly, right, we're also tracking the performance of the garbage collection. So this shows me, you guys, you know that you have different collectors for the different uh, pools, right? So we have one collector, this one, for the Eden space, and another one for the tenure space, right? And I can track the number of memory reclaims, how many times they actually reclaim the memory, and most importantly, how long did it take, right? How long did it take for the garbage collection to finish, right? Similarly for both, right? Uh, for the tenure as well as for the Eden, right? So if I look at the number of invocations, I can see that there was, an invocation on my Eden space, and if I take a look at how long that actually took, it took about 25 milliseconds. Okay, uh, very helpful information. Okay, so and here it is. It showed up as mentioned before. Here's my sign in form, right? If I take a look at responses per interval, I can see that it was clicked, and I have a lot of. Don't want to get into this too much, but you can see at a glance that I have tons of information on various on all the calls coming in, right? In addition to were there any errors, right, on that particular URL? How many times did it execute? How much CPU did it consume, right? User CPU, system CPU, how much did we wait, right? Maybe we made we were blocking for something, so on and so forth. All right. Now that our agents is connected, let's go back to our APM Command Center. And if I select the agents, I see that I have two agents now connected. The second agent being, the Tomcat. Uh, is showing me that, okay, good, I have an agent connected. This is the package name that it's using, and this is the version that it's using. So at this point, I have both, my infrastructure and my agent package deployed, and they're actually active and instrumenting my application. And what does that buy me? So in addition to these metrics, if I go to my map, if I go to the map, now this is the web portal, right? That I just uh, deployed. the application, and as we mentioned, I can go inside, I can open it up, I can see the inside of my app. And so let me make this a little bit smaller. The various components inside, right? I have the servlet, and it's called all these other JSPs and so on and so forth. This is good, right? I can close that down and look at this label, and it's showing me that it's connected to a database, right? And this is good. So it's showing me the connection that I have from my web portal to my database, right? And I can look at the various performance of the database, right? If there are any errors, how many times it was called, and so on and so forth. Now let me go back to the application itself. So let me select on the application. Here's the application, and now again I can look at the metrics of the application. This is my front end response time. How and the average of how am I responding to to my end user's request. I can see the number of responses. You know, seems to have been an error in here, average response time, so on and so forth. But most importantly, right, the whole point of instrumenting the server is because APM is going to actually correlate, right? It's going to bring together for me the performance of my application and the performance of the host with that particular application happen to be running. In this case, right, here's my application, right, and it happened to be running on this host, right, on the AXAT host. Right, and now I can see the performance of my host. So this is helpful because if my application has any performance issue, I can right away, right, be able to see if there's any resource constraint on my server, right? Or similarly, if my server, let's say, I had an alert on my host, right? I'm actually monitoring the CPU or memory of that particular host. One of the things when I get alerted that my host is actually running low on resources, right? I following the same idea going to my host, I can see the various applications, right, that are running in that host, and so that I can, take action and do something to it. This is what we call the application to infrastructure correlation. All right. So this is why we wanted to monitor both, right? The application and the host, because APM, right, is going to go ahead and bring both of them together so that I can easily, right, switch back and forth and see the performance of both. Now, this is, and by the way, this is just, let me throw this in here. This is because we happen to be deploying the application on this host, right? Now, let's say that I had something in between, like a Kubernetes or OpenShift, then I will have my application, right? It will show my Kubernetes, and it will show my host, right? It will correlate all those information together for me. All right, so I think we're good. We have instrumented our application. Let's just go over this one more time. I want to show a few features from our APM Command Center. So the first thing I want to show you is, let's go back to the package. And let's say that I want to go ahead and, into the ticket exchange package, I want to edit it, right? I want to change something. Maybe I want to add a new bundle, right? Maybe I want a new version agent, right? Maybe there's a new agent version that I want to upgrade to. So in this case, there isn't a new version agent. That's why I don't have one available in here in the list. But maybe I want to add, let's say now that I'm connected to let's pick something in here. Leak Hunter, right? Leak Hunter is an extension that we use in order to track memory leaks. Okay, if you suspect that your application is having memory problems, I can easily go ahead and select this bundle extension, add it to my package, right? And then go next. Right, so this is going to take me to the place where I can edit. So again, I don't have to touch the EM connection. That's already working. The only thing that if I wanted to, I can take a look at my Leak Hunter, right, bundle, and maybe, customize, configure this. For instance, I want to enable this. Yes, I want this to be true. I can change on the leak sensitivity, the timeout. Usually out of the box is fine. So I'll do next. Okay, so I could have easily also change, the name of the agent if I wanted to or whatever. Now at this point, okay, I'm done. So I'll go ahead and place done. And now my new package is ready. Now as I update my package, I get, a notification telling me that, um, I have successfully edited the package configuration, and now I can select an agent, right, and apply the latest package, right? So I can select the agents, all right? So I go ahead and select these agents. And now this agent, as I select them, is telling me that there is a new package available, or in fact that this agent is not running the latest package, right? If I'm interested in running the latest package, I can say sure, right? I'll say switch, right? I'll select this one, right, and I'll apply. So I'm selecting the other version. Oh, where did it go? So I'll select this, right? I'll say recent, right? So let me do this, apply. And now this, my new package is being applied, right? Uh, and so that's all it is. So now I'll go ahead and take a look at this. Let me go in here. All right. So, so now this is actually applying the package changes to my agent. Um, Good. So my package have been applied, and this particular extension, right, that I've actually added to my application, I happen to require a restart on my application, right? So there are certain packages, and let me show you. Sorry, certain bundles, right? Certain extensions that are dynamic, and others that are dynamic, meaning that I can just apply it and it will have deployed and actually take effect right away. And these are the green ones that you see in here, right? And there are other ones, the one with the yellow ones, that actually require a restart of the application just because, there's new classes or whatever being introduced. You can say that we have a few of them that actually do require a restart, and as well as a few of them that, I can just apply dynamically. Uh, Basically, that's it. So the last thing I want to show you guys is now that I have, my agent in here, let my agent come up. Let me make sure that it shows in here. There's my agent. This is just telling me that, actually it says right here, the packages have been applied, right? All the changes that I made to my package, the new bundles that I added, they're already ready to go. I just need to restart my application in this particular case. Now, the other thing that I want to show you guys, the last thing I want to show you is that I can generate a report. So let's go ahead and generate a report against that agent. And this report is going to just collect information on the server in case I may want to troubleshoot it. Maybe there's something that I want to look into it. So it actually took 14 seconds. Let's go there. Here's the report that I got generated. I can download it, but basically just it's a diagnostic report. Tells me the environment that I'm running in. Tells me information about the agent, the profile that I'm running on the agent, right? The logs. Maybe I want to get the logs, so I can go ahead and get the agent logs. Maybe I want to see what's going on. I can open it up. Right? These are the agent logs. Assuming that I don't have access to the server, I can just get my agent logs from here. Um, the various directives, the extensions, right? These are the various bundles that we have deployed. Uh, the process command line, right? That my application has been deployed, run with, environmental variables, Java system property, a whole bunch of information so you guys can see, uh, and the as well as the APM command controller, right? These are the logs of the APMI of the agent itself when it got installed. Okay. All right, so I think that's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. Hopefully, you can see that it's not that bad. to instrument an application, to instrument your server and your application. It's just a matter of creating a package and then configuring that package with the type of agent that you want to deploy, right? Whether it's an infrastructure agent or an application agent, and then select the bundles, right? The extensions that I want to add on that. Then once I create that package, then I have to make sure that I copy that package in the server that I want to monitor. But once I do that and once I configure that agent on the server, uh, as I mentioned before, I'll never have to go and log into that server to do any configurations in the future, right? I can do it all through the APM Command Center. I can customize, change certain things. I can add new bundles, and I can upgrade as new agents come up just through the APM Command Center, right? Just by simply applying. Okay, that's all there is for today. Hope this was useful and look forward to the next session with you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.